All right, let's start. Thank you all for joining my session. I hope you all had a great party yesterday. I certainly did. I'm still a bit tired, and that's totally because of the party and not me not sleeping for a week. But my name is Merlijn, and in Dutch it's called Merlijn Buit. In English they most call me Merlijn Buit, and they refer to me like Merlin the Tableau wizard, so you can call me that also. I'm a Tableau Zen master, and I specialize in Tableau extensions and other APIs. And today I will talk about my favorite topic, extensions, and I added a little bit of Zen to it. That's why the name is extZENtions. So it's going to be a great session with lots of demos, lots of excitement, and I want to say a very warm welcome to all of you for being here. I see a full room of people, which makes me very happy. To be honest, it was a dream for me to be on this stage one day. I've come to the conferences for almost 5 years now, and every time I was like, let's submit a session, and it was blocked, and this time it's accepted, so really happy to be here. Small disclaimer, this session will contain a lot of demos. Tableau will certainly crash, so don't try this at home. Do try this at home, of course. It's awesome. Who would like to see real live demos on stage? Woo! All right. Nice. Okay. There will be a lot of them, so that's very good. And every time I will show a demo, there will be this red sheet. So when you see this red sheet, you have to pay attention again. Okay? So let's try it again. If I show this sheet, there's going to be a demo. So, all right. So let's start with the first demo, called Mario in Tableau. Who has seen a game in Tableau already? Few hands? Okay. Let's show you. So I have a workbook here, and this is just a scatter plot. And for everyone who has been to the Surprise Me session yesterday from Klaus and Ludovic, this is a scatter plot. It's fully drawn, and you see shapes like Mario here. You see a shape of a little question mark block and some walking blocks. But it's dead. There's nothing happening. It's just static. There's some parameters here. I can click on the X parameter, and Mario will walk around. But when I walk to the Goomba, I won't die. So that's not fun. I want to die. So if we add an extension to this, something happens. The game comes alive. The dashboard comes alive. And this shows the power of the extension. So it's right here, and when I click it, it will load up. And music starts. All right? So what we can do is we can walk around by hitting the arrow keys. And as you can see, when I move to the left, Mario will change. And when I jump, a coin appears. So I can actually grab it by jumping, going to the right, and grab the coin. Pretty cool, right? So, the score will also go up. I have 1 point now, and I can just move on in the level. And I see a Goomba. And sometimes I can walk through, because I'm God mode or something. But when I hit it, I should die. So let's find a new Goomba. And as you can see, it's a bit slow sometimes, but it shows the power of the extensions API. And I built this in 1 day together with my colleague Charlie. It was for a hackathon. And there we go. Okay. So I die, finally. So let's go to the end. I have a little shortcode for it. Let's see. Does it work? It should work. There we go. So when I jump and go to the flag, I finish the game. The extension takes over, I don't have to do anything anymore. And I walk to the finish. Okay, so that's Mario in Tableau. And this is one of the extensions I've been working on. So this is something you can deploy in your company right now. Okay, just on the serious note now. The agenda. I will do a little bit of an introduction. For people who don't know me yet, I will talk about the extensions API. in more ways. I will talk about what the extensions API is. I will talk about security, which is a really important part. I will talk about the why of the extensions API and how you can start with building your own extension, like a really small part of the presentation. Of course, there will be a little bit more of gaming. And at the end, I will have a very exciting announcement. I've been working on a project with Klaus, he's on the front here. And we will announce it during this session, so keep an eye. Okay, so my name is Merlijn. I'm a Tableau Zen Master, and I work at Infotopics as a consultant and developer. And last year, I co-founded the platform AppsforTableau, where I built extensions only. So that's my job, actually, building extensions. We build extensions like the Show Me More extension, where you can create custom visualizations, super tables, and games like AppsforTableau, of course. I'm 28 years old. I plotted it on the map, on the line graph. It's a perfectly stable trend. And according to a dataset from the internet, I only have 54 years left to live. And in my life, I work 16% at Infotopics already. I have a girlfriend for 9 years already, also a perfectly stable trend. That's good. And I like to sport. And to show that I'm actually a human and not an extension machine, I give training to little children in speed skating. And the fun part of it, besides my job, is to see these little kids improve and become better every week, literally. And it's like giving a training to Tableau customers, but then much more adorable. So it's fun to do. So that's my spare job. And one of the things you may know our extensions of is the keynotes in Las Vegas, New Orleans, sorry, and London, where Keisha showed our Show Me More extension on stage, where she built a Sankey diagram in just a few seconds. And that was something I was really proud of, and the team was also really proud of. And last year I won the hackathon, one of the prizes at the hackathon during New Orleans hackathon, together with my colleague Charlie. He's right there. There he is. And we built Pac-Man in 4 hours, including the ghosts, Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde. And they were chasing you in the scatter plot and trying to catch you, and you die again, of course. So those are the fun stuff parts. So let's start with a topic. What is the extensions API? And just a small question, who has already worked with extensions in a dashboard? Okay, a few people, yeah. I have this quote from Michael Kofner, and I think this quote really describes the extensions API. Extensions API is a custom dashboard zone that can interact with the rest of the dashboard through the extensions API. So an extension is a piece in your dashboard, a part, and it can interact with the rest of the dashboard. Sounds a little bit sketchy, so let's give some examples. The first one is you could integrate with third-party APIs in your dashboard, like this extension where you have the map box integrated in your dashboard, and you can click on the map box, map, and your dashboard will filter, and you could go the other way around. You can use third-party charting libraries like D3 or Semiotic or something, and you can create custom visualizations really easy in Tableau, which could take a lot of time to build if you want to do it in Tableau. You can do things like write back, modify data to a database, update the dashboard again, and see that modified data in the dashboard. So for example, this is something I built for a customer where you can add comments to a viz, and these comments will be added in the viz. The mark will change to a little comment box, and you can have little interactions, you can reply to comments, you can add priorities, and this is just an extension, but because it's in the dashboard, you can change the way of the process of how people work with dashboards. You can create, well, very cool structures. You can also do things like track the usage of dashboards, and Star Schema has an extension called Tableau Usage Tracker, and we also have an extension called Dashboard Usage. And these extensions are very good to see how people use your dashboard. So if they are using filters, for example, if they click on a map or not, so sometimes you just assume they click on a map. But with this extension, you can really track the activity on how people use your dashboard and improve your dashboard. There's also an extension from the Information Lab, and they have an export to Excel extension. So you can export the data more easily, like the way you could do it in Tableau, just with a little button. There are advanced filter options. There are all kinds of cool parameter extensions like this one from Tableau, where you can update a parameter to a value like today or yesterday or this year or last year. And because it's dynamic, every time you open the dashboard, you will see the content according to that extension value. So very cool. Bistory also has a button filter, so you can customize your dashboard, create cool customized button filters in the top of your dashboard. And there's also an extension which transforms... Oh, sorry, this is from Automated Insights. And what they do is grab the data from a sheet, put it on the server, and they have this cool natural language processing where they transform the data to written analytics, so you get more explanation about the graph. So this is very good for people who are having trouble reading graphs. And the last one, of course, is playing games. So those things you can do with the extensions API. So just a few examples of the possibilities of the extensions API. There are a few requirements. You should be on Tableau 2018.2 or higher. You should have a Tableau server 2018.2 or higher, or Tableau Online. You can also use it with Tableau Reader, and it's not working on Tableau Public yet. So we have to keep asking Tableau if they can add it. So that's a hint, that's a tip. If you want to get started with the extensions API, you can go to the Tableau gallery. So when you open your dashboard and you drag in an extension element, you have two options. The first one is go to the extensions gallery, which is this gallery built by Tableau. And the other one is choose an extension file from my computer. And to give a little bit of an explanation about the gallery is a place where developers like me can put our extensions in, and it's managed by Tableau. So it means that I can't just put extensions in as much as I want. I have to add a privacy policy, I have to add terms and conditions, I have to write good descriptions, good images. So these extensions are serious extensions built by companies and people around the world. And one of those extensions is, of course, Show Me More at the top right. And I want to do a little bit of a challenge. So here comes the red sheet. We're going to do a demo. And I'm going to build a Sankey diagram in 1 minute. And just a question, who has built a Sankey diagram in Tableau before? All right, oh, that's a lot of people, cool. Who managed to do it within 1 minute? No one, okay. So this is going to be cool. For the people who did it, it can be pretty hard to build a Sankey diagram in Tableau. You have to do a lot of data prepping, a lot of custom visualizations, a lot of sheets, and there are templates on the internet, but if you just begin with Tableau, it can be hard to do. So let's open up our Tableau workbook. And I have a timer here, and it's on 1 minute, as you can see. So what I will do, I will create a sheet. I will add the extension to the dashboard. I will configure it as fast as possible, and we have a Sankey diagram. Okay? So let me hit the start countdown here, and then I will just go with the flow. So what I do first is create a data sheet where I can read the data from. I add some information to it. I go to my dashboard. I add the extension. There you go. Oh, okay. And let's grab it. So this takes the most time. Just take it slowly. I open the extension. I hit the sheet. It will recognize my data. It will say, okay, you can build a Sankey with it. Let's click it. Let's do it like this. We still have 30 seconds left. Lots of time. No pressure. We can still do things like this. Let's make the most biggest Sankey of all time. Let's try to stretch a little bit like this, right? And then when I click on OK, it's already there. So, pretty easy. So let's customize it a little bit. I have a lot of customizations here. I can change the vertical padding. I can change the node width. I can do things like the padding right here a little bit. I can change the opacity. Well, there's all kinds of options here. And I can also use dashboard actions. So I click on OK. And now I did a dashboard action on the data sheet itself. So for example, if I click on this page 5, it will filter on page 5. When I click it again, it will be deselected again. So very cool. I can use this in my dashboards. It's just like a normal data viz in Tableau, but then in an extension. Okay. All right. So how does an extension look like? You may know these files. They are called T-Rex files. And a lot of people think these are extensions, and all the code and all the logic is inside these files. But these T-Rex files are actually just a very small XML script. And to give a little bit of an example, this is a T-Rex file if you open it. And it has some information about the extension, like the name of the extension, the version, if it requires data, just some other stuff. The one who built it. And the most important part is the URL to the extension where it is hosted. And from there you grab the extension and put it in your dashboard actually. So this is not an extension, this is just a location to an extension. And to give you an example of where an extension is running and how it works, this is an example image I use often. On the bottom left, for you, yes, on the bottom left, there's your dashboard. And when you drag an extension in, you go to a server and you download the extension from the server. It's like a mini website, I mostly call it a mini web application. You download it to your dashboard, and it will run locally. So the code is all run on your computer. It's called client-side rendering. So it's on the computer of the person. And some extensions do require an internet connection because they do some cool stuff on a server, like the Automated Insights extension, which does natural language processing on their servers. But most of the extensions don't need an internet connection after they have been downloaded. They just run on the computer, like Show Me More, and you just locally build things and do things. And when you publish your workbook to a Tableau server, the same thing happens. The workbook is on Tableau server, but the extension is still on the client. So it's just going to a website. And if you if you have a Tableau server or you have an organization where there's no outside connection, I think a lot of bigger companies have this, and we often install the extension on-premise at the location of the customer. So we install the extension on the server of the customer behind their firewalls, and then it will just run locally. So there's no outside connection anymore to the cloud. So that's just a tip if you want to start with extensions and you're a little bit scared of the outside connection, try to ask for an on-premise version and install it locally. Okay? So let's demo this. Let's demo the difference between cloud and on-premise. Yeah, it's a little bit less funky demo, but you can still clap. Okay, so let's drag two extensions on the dashboard. And first we have to start our server. So I have this is actually Show Me More as code, so this is not the visual part. But when I go here and I type in yarn serve, I start the server and I will run the extension locally on my computer. So it's building the extension right now. There's a little bit of a message here, which I could and can ignore. It will build it. It will start a little local server. There it is. And it's on localhost 8000 right here. So I can go there, click it, and it should be here. So it's in my browser. I can also actually go to extensions in my browser. So right here, localhost 8000. This is a local machine. And this is the Show Me More extension. So this one is running locally. And when I go to the workbook and drag in a extension file, go to My Extensions and grab the Show Me More from the premium one. So this is the premium one. And also grab the localhost version, which is this one, localhost. Okay, there it is. So let's make sure this is the localhost version. And as you can see, I think the people in the back maybe have a little bit of a problem with it. The extension URL it's referring to is HTTP localhost 8000. So this one is running locally, no internet connection. And I can also just play with it. There's no difference here. So I can create for example, create a Sankey diagram again. Just do it pretty quickly. Like this. And I have a Sankey diagram. And this shows the difference between on-premise and cloud, and the difference is there's no difference. So that's good, I think. And I can also do things like adding dashboard actions. So for example, if I click on page 3, I will filter this Tableau visualization. And I can also do things like, if I click on the Tableau visual itself, I should be able to filter. Yeah, there it goes. So I will filter the extension. So it's just a normal viz running locally, nothing strange happening here. Okay, so that's the difference. And I think the most important question we get almost daily is, are extensions secure? There is a demo of Thomas Voldy where he showed a picture of a cat, and this extension was like downloading all the data of your workbook to a server. It was just, he's a Zen master, he's just screwing around, but a lot of people are like, oh my god, you're creating cat extensions. I'm not, but okay. It is possible. So we get these quotes, extensions are evil and insecure. And I'm like, okay, you're right, sure. But they can be evil, of course. But extensions are just as evil and scary as unknown attachments from unknown emails. You don't open a PDF from a guy, I don't know, whatever, it's like an invoice. You don't know, you just don't open it like, okay, let's run it. There's this custom script, let's run it, of course. You don't do that, so why would you do it with extensions? Why would you run an unknown extension if you don't know the developer, if you don't know the company? So I have a few tips for you if you want to get started with extensions and there's an IT issue inside like security. And the first one is, you should trust the extension developer. And this is the first thing Tableau will ask you to do if you add an extension to the dashboard. It's right here, you get this pop-up if you add it to your dashboard. And it will say, okay, you're going to add an extension to your dashboard. Are you going to allow it or are you going to deny it? And there's some information about the extension right here. It's like the extension name, it's created by Merlijn, and you can click on this name, you can go to the website. There's some information about the full data access, the URL to the extension is here. And there's also a little bit of text at the top. And when you click on the learn more about how extensions access your data, you get even more information by Tableau on how extensions are using your dashboard. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is check the URL of the extension. Where is the extension going to? What machine? What server? And that's the bottom row of the four there. Make sure everything is HTTPS. So if there's data over the line, it's HTTPS, so it's secure. And I know Tableau is coming with something called sandbox extensions. And that basically means that there will be cloud extensions, there will be on-premise extensions, and Tableau will also going to host extensions by themselves. And if you use some sandbox extensions, there will be a connection between the Tableau machine and your computer, and there is not a possible connection outside that connection anymore. So you can't go to another machine if you use that extension. So that's also a very secure way of using extension. I think it's coming soon somewhere. Of course, use on-premise hosted extensions behind the firewall. And one important part on Tableau server is two options. The first one is to whitelist extensions you trust. So if you have extensions which you, okay, I can trust these guys, I will add it to the whitelist, put it right here, and also make sure to uncheck the little checkbox above. And that checkbox is saying, enable unknown extensions to run, always displaying user prompts without full data access. If you disable it, unknown extensions, which are not on the whitelist, will never be able to run on your Tableau server. So only the whitelisted extensions can run. So you can make sure that if developers are like dragging extensions on the dashboard, publish it to your server, nothing happens because they can't run on server. Okay? So that's the last tip for security. And if you have more questions about security, I'm here all day, so you can hook me up and I can talk about it more. So why should I use the extensions API? Why should I use extensions? And for me, Tableau is like a toolbox. It has all kinds of features which are really cool. You can build crazy graphs like Klaus and Ludovic do. You can do whatever you like, but you can also do a lot of things. You can also don't do a lot of things. Like really custom stuff, embedding it in a portal, interacting with it. And that's where the APIs of Tableau come in. So for example, there's a REST API, and with the REST API you can do all kinds of cool stuff like adding users to a Tableau server. You can do things like removing permissions from a server without being on the server. You can download workbooks from a server, all kinds of cool stuff. You have the extensions API, just released a year ago. You have the JavaScript API, which helps you embed workbooks on your server, or on your website. And you can do all kinds of interactions between your website and the dashboard, like clicking on the button in your website and the dashboard will filter. And you have a new API coming called the metadata API, and this one is very close to the Tableau catalog, so you can retrieve information like how many times it's used, how many times, etc., etc., etc. And that API is currently in alpha, but it's coming, and it's showing that Tableau is adding more drawers to the Tableau toolkit every year or something. And for a developer, it's like opening up the toolbox and creating more and more and more possibilities, and that's really cool. And to give you an example of this, I often see these cool interactive data stories on Tableau, on the websites of, for example, The Guardian, and we in the Netherlands also have a lot of websites which do this. They create like environment problems, and if you just read text, it's okay, but if you see a viz or something like the CO2 pollution going up, and it's moving and it's animating. It's so cool to have that in that story, and the data is adding to the story. So let me just show this this one from Guardian, and this one is about homeless people moving out, and it's about Quinn Raber. It's right here, and he arrived in San Francisco bus station, and what they do here is they create a story with text and they add visualizations to it, which makes it really, really powerful. So for example, right here you see a map and you see the distance he has traveled over the map, and you see the line he is traveling. And when you scroll and you read and you scroll, the visuals will update, so it changes to a different map. And you see certainly all the homeless people in the US. And when you scroll further, you see how they travel and how they move between the states, like right here. So this is so cool. And I was like, we need this in Tableau, right? We need something like this in Tableau. So, what did I do? Created an extension, actually, as you can imagine. And I took the World of Water workbook of Timothy van Meeren. He's from Bistory, and this was his submission from the Iron Viz. And I was like, okay, this is the perfect example because it has a lot of text, it has a lot of cool vizzes, and let's try to build a new extension with it. So I asked his permission. He was like, oh, that's very cool, do it. And I created this proof of concept. And what it is doing is, on the left you have the extension with text, and when you scroll through the text, the visuals on the right will update, and those are Tableau visuals. And this creates a lot of cool possibilities, like annual reporting to senior management, for example. So you can add stories to your dashboard, and if they scroll to the stories, they will highlight different sales departments or social media campaigns or something, and they don't have to search for the data. You can just tell him as an expert or an analyst. Okay, so let's do a demo. This workbook is from Tristan. He is in the Iron Viz right now, and I think I see him actually. He's right there. Let's wave a little bit. I've never seen a colleague being that nervous in a day before, so sorry, Tristan. So I asked Tristan to last week if he could put his submission for the Iron Viz into Scrollytelling and use the extension. So for us, it was a good use case to see if it's working, and he did. So let's show it to you. So it's called the cost of energy independence, and if we open the workbook, we get the extension right here, and it's just a story with text. And on the right, we have the visuals. And when I scroll through the text, I see a YouTube video, so I get a little bit more context. And when I scroll and continue scrolling, I get new maps. This is about the Russian energy network. And there's text and there's an image behind it, so you can create these custom stories completely by yourself. There's a energy imports button, so let's click it. I don't know what happens. And it shows an animation in Tableau, animations in Tableau. And I can go further, Quest for Independence, and it starts animating these lines just in the Tableau workbook. And so this is a unique way of playing with Tableau, and it shows what you can do with extensions without what you can't do in Tableau, but what you can do with extensions. So this is the story from Tristan. I want to say a big thank you for you making time for me, building this while being nervous and playing with the Iron Viz data. So that's just an example, and I will show you how you can build your story yourself right now. So thank you, Tristan. So what we have right here is the standard Tableau product dashboard from Superstore. And it's just a dashboard. It has some vizzes. And this is a really simple example, but it shows the power of this extension. So we have the global sales report, I call it. And we have some text here. There's a little image. And when I scroll down, the first topic we have to take a look at is furniture. And we notice a big drop of furniture sales. I don't know. I've just typed something. And when we scroll through the story, we see that office supplies are doing better in 2017. And we see that technology is ramping up. Okay, so it's a story, and when you scroll through it, the viz update. So I think pretty cool. But how can you create this story? And that's the most important part of this extension, all right? Being able to create your own story. So I've been working on a configurator. It's in the extension. And this is it. So you can see the story right here. And you can just add sections to the story. And you can add text to it. You can add images to it. And you can all do it by yourself. So for example, this is the text in the beginning, and this is the text of furniture dropping in July. So let's create a little action here. So let's add a Tableau action button, and let's configure it. So I'm adding a button, and this is the label. So let's call it filter on region north, and let's make it green. And now I can add actions to it. So when I click on add action, I get a drop down, so I can add parameter actions, filter actions, highlight actions, and I can also do things like animations. Parameter, filter, and highlight animations. So for now, we do a filter action. And we want to select, he is asking to which sheet do you want to filter. So we want to filter the product view sheet. The extensions API is reading the columns from that sheet live. And what you can see here is these are all the columns in this sheet. So let's go for the region. And after I get a value selector. And oh, it's already on north, sorry. So let's try that one more time. Otherwise, it's like not cool. So, region. And when I do it again, okay, here they are. North, central, and south. So let's go for north right now. I select it. I can change the filter type, so I can add values to a filter. I can replace the values, and I can remove the values. And when I hit done, it's done. Let's go back to the story, right here. And when I'm in furniture, and I'm in the region all, right here, I can hit this button, and I will filter to north. And it will also highlight on north. So, very cool. And this is just an example, but I'm really curious what you could do with this extension. So, I'm happy to announce that this extension is in the Tableau gallery today, right now. So I know a lot of people want to get started with the extensions API, or maybe have a colleague who can program and build something himself. So I will give a little bit of smart tips on how you can start with building your own extension. There will be no programming today, but just a little tips. So if you want to get started with building your own extension, you can go to this link. This is the most important link, tableau.github.io/extensionsapi. And these sheets will be available, of course, so if you can take a picture, no problem. They will be available. So this is the starting place for you. And it has the getting started text where there's a lot of introduction about the extensions API. There's a reference guide where all the functions are, like, for example, I want to do something with a sheet, so how do I get started? Now, Tableau has a reference guide. It shows you, okay, you have to first ask the extensions API for the dashboard information. And after you have done that, you can ask for the sheets information. You get a list of sheets, like sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. You can say, okay, I want to go for sheet 2. And then I can do things like update the filter, change the value, get the summary data, and do whatever you like. And that's how the API works. And there are also a lot of samples here, which you can just open. They're all open source. You can click through it. You can see how the code has been built. So very easy to start with extensions. The release notes are there, and if you're a little bit more on the extension, think, okay, I'm finalizing, I want to make it a little bit more beautiful. There are also UX design guidelines for extensions, and there's a Tableau UI. And that's a package built for extensions in React. And you saw maybe the green button and the scrolly telling, and it looks like a Tableau button. Those are all in that Tableau UI package. So you import it, and you have all the styling of Tableau from the dashboard. So that's very, very cool and helpful to build cool extensions. So just a few tips if you start with extensions, or your colleague or someone else. Don't start with a framework. And if you don't know what a framework is, perfect. Don't start with it. Just start simple in an HTML file or a JavaScript file and just write a few lines. And what I did is open up the extension samples. Like there was like something with a button and it just did something and I was like, okay, I don't know how to start. Let's open that extension and let's just try and modify it. So firstly the button was exporting something, then the button was filtering, and then the button was doing something else. And it was just like, okay, let's add more features to the button, let's change it. And I was learning how to build extensions with the API. So that's something really helpful for me myself. This is the extensions API documentation, like I showed. Important to have all the time open on your computer to not fall into little pit holes or something. And if you want to make a beautiful extension, which is the final stage, of course, you can go to the Tableau UI package and import it in your dashboard, in your extension, and use these cool pre-built, styled components of Tableau. So, a few tools which I'm using to create extensions. I use Visual Studio Code, and that's a great programming tool to program in for actually everything. But for extensions, it's very cool because you have these extensions in Visual Code. There are also extensions which help you to program. So you have, for example, prettier, and it will prettier, of course. It will make your code look beautiful. It will format it the right way, so you don't have to really think about it all the time. Very important if you work with a team. Use something like Bitbucket or GitHub to do versioning. So if you work on Dropbox or something, you may have noticed with PowerPoint that you overwrite each other's files and things get lost and oops, sorry, I just removed your file. It's not possible if you work with something like this. You have to push your code to an online place and someone else can pull it from there and it will auto-merge the code. It's very powerful. And if you want to really start, these are the languages which are important. JavaScript, extensions are pretty much JavaScript only. If you want to use a framework, I'm using React. The Tableau package, the Tableau UI is also built for React, so I would go with React. Just go with that. We have HTML, of course, everything is HTML. And if you want to have some kind of server which is doing cool things, like I will show you in a few minutes, you can use Node or PHP. There are also tools like Yarn and Webpack to do these server things I was using. And if you have people which are using Internet Explorer, I can't imagine, but there are still people using Internet Explorer, you need to have Babel and Polyfill. Because it's like you build a cool Tableau dashboard, and you're done, and then you publish it to your server, and like everyone is happy, except the Internet Explorer users, because it's not working, it's not looking good. And you fix it, and then it's still not working, because Internet Explorer just sucks. And Babel and Polyfill are like the translations for the Internet to Internet Explorer. So they fix things for Internet Explorer, so the little Internet Explorer is also able to run the extension. Okay, so this is the movie time. I told you that there is an extension being released right now. And the last 2 months I've been having a lot of contact with Klaus. He's in the front. Maybe Klaus, maybe you can stand up for a second. This is Klaus. And we've been working on a new extension, and I'm really proud to announce it right now here on stage. And I made a really dramatic video for you to be getting excited for it. So if the lights can go out, I will start the video, okay? So was it dramatic enough? Okay, very good. Okay, so Klaus and I have been building on an extension called the Data Village Online. And we have been thinking about something to contribute to the community and all the people which are in the US and everywhere else which cannot go to the conference. We feel really sorry for them, and then we thought, okay, we have to do something for them, these poor people. So we built Data Village Online, and it has a lot of cool features. So first of all, when you go to a conference, you get these cool badges on your thing here. And you can also do that in Data Village Online. So you can create your character. And you have these custom things you can add. So like, for example, I'm a Zed from Zen Master. I can add my name. I like to listen to music. And I've been a few times to the conference already. So this is how it will look like. You can walk through a beautiful data village. And you can interact with the level, the data village. Of course, it's Tableau. You can interact. And you can click on things. And I will show you later. For example, there's the Viz gallery, just like here, with cool top-notch vizzes from Tableau Public. And you can click on your favorite viz, and you will vote for it, and there are live graphs in the Data Village Online workbook, and these graphs will update accordingly. You can chat with your friends, of course, about your favorite topic. You can vote for your favorite community project. You can be a DJ in the silent disco, which I will show you, and there will be many more features added to this dashboard. So if you have a laptop right here, and you're in the back or something, you can play with me right now on stage here by going to the link appsfortableau.com/data-village. Okay, so if you like to do that, open your laptop and go. We have only 24 people which are able to join. Then the server will totally melt down. So that's it. You need Tableau 2019.2. Open the workbook and open it in presentation mode. Create your character, hit play, and allow the extension, of course, if you trust it. And you can have fun in the Data Village Online. So there's the final demo. Let's do it. So let's go to the extension. Here it is. Hit presentation mode. So this is the starting page. Here I can create my character. So my name is Merlijn. I'm a Zen Master. And as you can see on the right, the character is updating. I want to be a blue character. And when I'm going to the data night out, my favorite activity is thinking about my conference session. It's not here. Like listening to the music, which was pretty loud yesterday, actually. And I've been more than 3 times to the conference. So this is my unique character. And when I click on the Enter Data Village, I'm in the workbook. So let's load the extension. And it will run right now. It will start up. It will boot. It will do a lot of things. It will connect to the server, the multiplayer server. And, oh, there's actually someone online. I will be here. So there are already 3 people online. So let's say, hello from the conference. Swan is connected. Very cool. A lot of people are connecting. And I can use this to walk around. So let's, hi Merlijn, greetings from the Netherlands. Great session. Very cool. I can walk around here. And I can click on these vizzes. So for example, this is the Becker viz from Klaus. There are different ones. And if you see a viz you like, you can just click it. And the music will here, of course, it should be. Is my sound enabled? No? Okay. Can it be enabled? There's no sound. Okay, sorry. That's my bad, I think. Okay, so we can click it and you'll get a clicking sound. And on the right, you see how many people are online. So top left, you see 5 attendees online. There are 8 total clicks in the Viz gallery already. People are clicking on things, and these graphs will update when you click on things. So let's go to the Zen area. Let's go to the Zen area. So I can just teleport because walking is for active people. So let's go there by porting. And when I walk into the Zen area, I can also see that Klaus is walking in. I can see all kinds of community projects, and oh, everyone is going there. Very cool. So this is crazy, right? I have people walking around in my Viz. This was my ultimate dream about extensions. So we can click on a community project I like. So for example, this one. Oh, there's the sound. Sorry. And the Iron Crest, for example, I can click it. And now I'm voting for it. So every time someone clicks, it will be up in the vizzes on the left. So very cool. So let's move to the disco now. And the disco is, I think, it's the coolest part. because it has a cool feature. So let's move there by teleporting. So it can be a little bit slow, so there's so much happening in this workbook with parameters, parsing, splitting data, I don't know, it's really crazy. And when I go in, let's change the music a little bit. I will hear disco music, of course. And the fun part is there are actually little LPs, discs on the left of the extension and on the right. And you can click them, and when you click them, the music will change to all people in the silent disco. So maybe Klaus, maybe you can click on one of the songs. Yeah, are you clicking song 1 or song 4? Thank you. Alright, so Klaus did it actually. I did not do anything. So Klaus is the DJ. So we can just chat around, play around, be in your data village, your favorite spot. My fifth. Okay, this is very cool. It's actually exploding a little bit. Cool. Keep playing, please. It will be available on the website. Turn the music a little bit down. It will be on the website, appsfortableau.com/datavillage. You can download it right here, the big orange button, and it's built by us, and it's a contribution to the community, to all of you. So that was my final demo. I just want to add a few sheets and then we are wrapping up. If you're interested in building stuff with Tableau, there is a great Tableau developer program where you can access the APIs, where you can have a supportive community, where there are all kinds of stand-ups, monthly sprints, and you also get a free online server where you can just push your extensions in and all the things you're building. It's sandboxed, so there are big benefits of joining the Tableau developer program. And there's also a data dev hackathon coming to London. And I also try to be there if I get an approval. It's on 10 and 11 September in the Tableau office, and you will learn a lot about the developer program. You can play with all the APIs and all the cool stuff with Tableau, and you can win a ticket to Tableau Conference 2019 in Las Vegas, which is cool. And you can have a lot of fun, talk with Geraldine, she will be there probably, and the other devs from Tableau are there. So if you're interested, you should definitely come. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being here and listening to my story. If you want to contact me, just email me to my email address or hit me up on Twitter @Merlijn Buit. And I want to say a big thank you, and please, if you're up to, complete the session survey in the My Evaluations session in the app. Okay? So, thank you, that's it.